Om 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 Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti. Om Om Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Vyasaya Vishnurupaya Vyasarupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahmanidhaye Vasishtaya Namo Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. So today we are in the 49th day of our Srimad Bhagavad Gita through the lens of Swami Chinmayananda, called the Holy Gita, the book. And we are in chapter 13. So Bhakti Yoga is over with the 12th chapter, and with the first 6 chapters, Karma Yoga is over. The last 6 chapters we are in, it should conclude in 88 days, hopefully by August 3. And in the last 6 chapters, the verses, the shlokas are all based on Jnana Yoga, especially on knowledge of the self. The last chapter, like the second chapter, is a summary of all the chapters. So, 13th chapter, Gurudev says, spirit functioning through matter envelopments is the living organism. That dressed up in matter is a vainful thou. Therefore, man undressed of matter is the eternal and infinite spirit. The process of removing matter is the process of meditation. The matter equipment and their perceived world of objects together constitute the field, and the supreme consciousness illumining them and therefore seemingly functioning within the field gather to itself as a consequence the status of the knower of the field. The sorrows of samsara are thus entirely the private wealth of the knower of the field, the jiva. The sorrows of samsara does not belong to Ishvara. Only jiva who knows the field is having that trouble to bear samsara. If through discrimination the field and its knower are known separately, through meditation the student can detach himself from the matter equipment and therefore get away from the field of these sorrow-ridden experiences. Thereby the knower of the field, who was the experiencer of the sorrows, transforms himself to be the experiencer of absolute knowledge. Experiencer of sorrows is when the knower is turned within only into the mind. When the knower turns towards consciousness, he becomes the experiencer of the absolute. So we go to the first verse. Arjuna is asking a question. Arjuna uvacha prakritim purusham chaiva kshetram kshetragnya eva cha etad veditumichhami jnanam jneyam cha keshava. In many Gita texts this verse is not there. If this verse is there, then the number of shlokas in Gita becomes 701. Without this verse, Gita contains 700 shlokas. This is more an introductory question that Arjuna is asking to Krishna. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva. Prakriti is nature and Purusha is the master, the seer of nature. Kshetra is the field and Kshetragnya is the knower of the field. The body, mind and intellect are the field. The one who knows the body and the movements of the body, the growth of the body, the destruction of the body, the pain in the body is the Kshetragnya. The one who knows the different thoughts in the mind is the Kshetragnya. The mind is a Kshetra. And the intellect contains our decisions and our desires. Those who know, the one who knows the desires in our intellect is a Kshetragnya, and the Kshetra is the intellect. So the Kshetra may be different, but the Kshetragnya is one. The Kshetra may be different in every being, but the Kshetragnya in all beings are one, that one consciousness. Prakriti is matter, Purusha is spirit. Also the Kshetra, the field, and Kshetragnya is the knower of the field. Knowledge and that which ought to be known, these I wish to learn. O Keshava, he is asking an academic question. I want to know the field and the one who knows the field. So Bhagavan replies, listen how the Lord answers all these questions categorically. Very, very beautiful chapter. If you really want to know the whole thought about what are all the elements of this universe, who is God, and what is God in our life, this one chapter is such a beautiful chapter in the Bhagavad Gita. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetramityabhidhiyate Etadyo vetti tam prahuhu Kshetragnya iti tadvidaha. Shri Bhagavan says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Idam, this body, Kshetramiti abhidhiyate, is called Kshetra, is called a field. Kshatat trayate, that which protects us, that which has a boundary and it protects us from being destroyed, that is called a Kshetra. Whether it is a field, it has a boundary along it, it is having a, what is it called? It's having a barricade around it, the parapet wall, or a plant wall, or a thorn wall, or whatever it has. It protects something within and demarcates something from without. In the same way, this body also, it protects many things within and then demarcates the body from the rest of the space. So the Kshetra. Idam Shariram. This body is a Kshetra. Kshetramiti abhidhiyate. Etad yaha veti tam prahuhu. The one who knows this Kshetra is called Kshetragnya. Iti tadvidaha. The sages who know the truth say that this body is the Kshetra and one who knows this Kshetra is called the Kshetragnya. Gurudev says, a waker in a certain mental framework himself becomes a dreamer, and to the dreamer, the dream is real as long as the dream continues. But on awakening, the dreamer realizes that the dream was only a misinterpretation of the waking, rendered by the dreamer's own mind. Similarly, the pluralistic world is perceived when the spirit views through its own imaginary world of matter, and on awakening to its own spiritual status, it rediscovers its own absolute reality in which the phantom of matter has got no existence at all. Thus, in a living man, philosophically viewed, there are two aspects: the inert and insentient matter layers and the sentient and vital consciousness. These two aspects are defined in this stanza. The knower is the ego and the field, which is the known. Kshetra, Kshetragnya. Is this all the knowledge that one has to acquire about them? No, this is not all. Kshetragnyam chapi mam vidhi sarvakshetreshu bharata kshetragnayor jnanam yattad jnanam matam mama. Kshetragnyam, who is a kshetragnya? I am the kshetragnya. Bhagavan says, the knower of this body is called the Kshetragnya. And who is the knower of this body? Bhagavan says, I am the knower of the body. Kshetragnyam chapi, that means consciousness. Not Bhagavan Shri Krishna, consciousness. Kshetragnyam, Kshetra, Nya. Nya means to know, Kshetra means field. Chapi, mam vidhi, sarva kshetreshu bharata. All fields means all bodies. Bodies of human beings, bodies of birds, bodies of animals, bodies of insects, bodies of plants, bodies of grass, bodies of water, body of fire, body of air, body of space, body of the earth, everything, the field, and I am the knower of the field in everything. Sarva kshetreshu bharata. Kshetragnayoho jnanam. The knowledge of kshetra and kshetragnya is called knowledge. Everything else is, it just is there. Like in Sri Rangam, if you say temple, it means Ranganatha Swami temple. So it is called a Periya Kovil, meaning Perumal Kovil. And if you say I am going to the temple, it means I am going to Ranganatha Swami temple. That is a kind of the greatness and the glory of that place. So if you say jnanam, if you say knowledge, if you say thought, I think and I have a thought, the first thing about the thought, the greatness about the thought is the kshetra, the difference between the kshetra and the kshetragnya, the viveka shakti, the separation between who is the seer and what is the seen. So cognitive behavioral therapy, today it talks about the difference between the one who is observing and what is observed. So in this way, they find a therapeutic cure to many of our problems. Like if I'm suffering from anxiety and you go to a CBT therapist, what they will make you realize is you are not anxious, you are the observer of anxiety. If you say I am excited, you are not excited, you are the one, excitement is there and you are the observer of the excitement. This is called cognitive behavioral therapy. It is nothing but this kshetragnya jnanam. Why this is very important, and it is spoken in the Bhagavad Gita as the first part of Jnana Yoga. The first part of all the chapters of Jnana is, this is a distinguishing factor that we cultivate with the practice of yoga, with the practice of karma yoga, with the practice of devotion. What happens to us? This viveka shakti comes to us. I am the seer of the field, and the field is the seen. This is called, even in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, in the third chapter called Vibhuti Pada, many meditations are mentioned. If you meditate on the sun, you will get the knowledge of the stars. If you you get the knowledge of the whole earth, bhuvana jnanam. If you meditate on the moon, you will get knowledge of the stars. Then if you meditate on the navel center, the Nabhi chakra, you will get a knowledge about the formation of all the organs of the body. So it is a more a medical meditation. So like this, they keep telling many forms of meditation. If you meditate on how the sound, the meaning are different, sarva bhuta rita jnanam, you will get the true meaning of all the words of all human beings and all animals and all birds. We will be able to get the real knowledge of what they are communicating. So like this, many forms of meditation are given in the Yoga Sutras Vibhuti Pada. But ultimately, the last meditation that is said, Kshana tat kramayoho samyamat Vivekajam Jnanam. So, Kshana, every moment, Kshanam, this moment, next moment, next moment, next moment, next moment, like how we sing in the bowl of Hindustani. Ta, dhin, dhin, dha, dha, dhin, dhin, da, dha, tin, tin, ta, dhita, dhin, dhin, da, dha, dhin, dhin, dha, dha, dhin, dhin, da, dha, tin, tin, ta, tita, dhin, dhin, dha. So when you meditate like this, kshana tat kramayoho samyamat, what happens? I get the vivekajam jnanam. I get the knowledge that is born of discrimination between what? Discrimination between what is the self and what is not the self. What is the kshetra and what is the kshetragna. This knowledge I will get. So the knowledge to separate between the two. That is a final. Kshetragnayor jnanam yattat jnanam matam mama. So Gurudev here says, we had already indicated earlier that Lord Krishna is expounding the Gita in a rare moment of yogic integration, yoga rudha sthiti. He is identifying himself with the self that is everywhere. This is something like electricity declaring, I am the one energy that gives a glow in all the filaments all over the world. After indicating the one spirit behind the entire world of matter, wherever it may be, Krishna declares that according to him, a correct knowledge vitally experienced and lived of what constitutes in each one of us the perishable, changeable, finite, and inert matter, and of the nature of the infinite, imperishable, and sentient spirit is the supreme knowledge. Kshetra is the field of matter which is constituted of the various equipment of perception and the vast fields of the perceived. Kshetragna is a subject that enjoys the activities of the instruments of perception and the world perceived by them. To distinguish the world of the subject and the world of objects is a salutary knowledge which can redeem us from the confusions and sorrows from which we suffer today as individualized egos. All our problems, tasmadajnanamevatra sarvada dukkha karanam tatswarupam hi jnatavyam vicharena maya, says Pujya Guruji Swami Chinmayanandaji in the Manashodhanam, which is adapted from the Srimad Bhagavatam Narada Yudhishthira Samvada. All our problems are because of ignorance. Ignorance of what? I don't know who am I. I don't know that there are two parts to my being. One part is the observer, that is I, and the other part is observed, that is the body, mind, and intellect, and all the sense organs and thoughts and emotions and feelings, everything that go with it, and the world outside. Everything is the observed. And so the knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetragna is only the knowledge. And nothing else is called knowledge. So the fourth verse, Tat Kshetram Yachaya Drikcha Yadvikari Yatascha Yat Sachayo Yat Prabhavascha Tat Samasena Meshruno Tat Kshetram Yat Cha Yadrikcha Yat Vikari Yataha Cha Yat. Where does this Kshetram come from? What is the Kshetram? What is the nature of this Kshetram? What are the modifications of the Kshetram? Sachayo Yat Prabhavascha. What is the glory and greatness of this Kshetram? What does it produce? What can it contribute? Yat Prabhavascha. Tat Samasena Meshrunu. Understand that this is happening in the battlefield. So even to discuss so much calls a lot on the part of the teacher as well as a student. How much Arjuna would have been so calm to have, this is an Upanishadic knowledge which is spoken between the Rishi and the student in the silence and of the forest Gurukulas. But here in the middle of the battlefield, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is giving that same knowledge to Arjuna. A mere repetition of the qualities of the infinite self is in itself of no profit to a true seeker, nor can any evolution actually take place by an overemphasis of the qualities of the spirit. To close our eyes to the causes that create our present problems is not to solve our problems. The world of matter has been projected by ourselves around us and the process by which we work through it to perceive the infinite varieties of objects, feelings, thoughts, all these are to be brought under our close observation and study. To ignore them is to cheat ourselves so much about the essential knowledge. That is, Gurudev is saying, without without having an idea, without getting some kind of a calmness about who we are in this world, what is our connection with this world, what are the problems we face, what are the nature of problems we face, and some amount of a quietude because of that, and how not to create more problems. Without that kind of a basic quietude, it is not possible to know the ultimate truth of we are transcending even this world and this physical body. At least the working knowledge of the enemy's strategy is essential in planning our anti strategic movements. To know the nature of all matter envelopment, their play, and how they behave under given sets of circumstances is to know the field which we have to battle for release and win our victory. Even a cricket player, even the cricket players who are who are going to play the cricket match, they go and test the pitch. They see what is the nature of the soil, what is the slipping capacity of the pitch, and what is the speed of the run. Everything they test against the pitch, and only then they play the game. So this is even if we are going to study, the game is like self knowledge, but testing the pitch is knowing the kshetra on which we are standing. First of all, when we are asking questions with our mouth, thinking with our head, we should know where this body which contains the mouth and the head is standing. And that is the kshetra. The body itself is the kshetra, and that earth on which it is standing with all the five elements are also the kshetra. So knowing about that. The fifth verse, in order to create a lively enthusiasm in the students to observe, study, and understand the world of matter around the spirit, Krishna is glorifying the very theme of this chapter. He says, what is the greatness of this chapter? What is the glory of this chapter? Rishibhir bahudha gitam chandobhir vividhaif prathak Brahma Sutra Padaishchaiva Hetu Madbhir Vinishchitaihi. Rishibhihi, by the rishis, Bahudha Gitam. This has been sung a lot. Chandobhihi Vividhaihi Prathak. And by many mejas also. In the Vedas also, it has been spoken. Brahma Sutra Padaihi Chaiva. It has been spoken in the Brahma Sutras of Veda Vyasa also. The sutras on Brahman. Hetu Madbhir Vinishchitaihi. Full of reason, and very decisively this thought has been addressed in all these places. He has been sung by the rishis in many ways in different hymns severally. In short, the subject matter dealt with here is a very theme which the Upanishads have indicated in the secret verses, especially so in its passages about Brahman. Why should we so readily accept these statements of the rishis in the Upanishads, except in a stunned admiration nurtured by our blind belief in them? Krishna points out that even if we had no great respect or reverence for the rishis as such, we will have to accept their declarations because they are not intellectual dictations or divine commandments thrust upon the helpless laity by some winged angels assuming divine prerogative and claiming special sources of secret knowledge. This is the general attitude that poisons the scriptures of most of other religions. As a contrast to them, our Upanishadic declarations are full of reasoning and also so convincing. When a truth is declared along with logical reasoning, the conclusions arrived at are acceptable to any intelligent student by sheer force of its appeal. When Arjuna is thus prepared to listen attentively to the discourse of the field and its knower, the Lord says, sixth verse, Mahabhutanyaham buddhiravyaktamev cha indriyani dashaikam cha panchachendriya gocharaha Mahabhutani ahamkaraha. The five great elements, then the ego, the I, the physical body, conscious I. The I is not the supreme I here. The I that pertains to everybody. But referring to this body, you say, I am getting up, I am going, I am coming. Everybody in the world is not going and coming, but you say that I. So that is ahamkara, the one who says, the one who does the aham. Aham means I. Buddhihi, the intellect or the decisive factor. I want to do this. And the one that analyzes and takes decisions is buddhi, and entertains desires and chooses a desire to pursue in this world is buddhi. Avyakta is the unmanifest. Unmanifest is Mula Prakriti, which contains the three gunas in the buddhi: Sattva guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. Unmanifest. Indriyani Dasha Ekamcha. The 11 sense organs. Here the manas is not added along with the 8 elements. The manas is added along with the sense organs. The 10 sense organs, 5 sense organs of perception, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin, and the 5 sense organs of action, speaking, mouth, hands, legs, organ of reproduction, and organ of excretion. So Mahabhutani Ahamkaraha, Buddhi, Mahabhutani, 5 Mahabhutas, Ahamkara is 6, Buddhi is 7, Buddhi is the intellect or the deciding Nishchayatmika Buddhi, that which decides among many thoughts is Buddhi. Avyakta is unmanifest, Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, Mula Prakriti. Indriyani Dasha Ekam, the 10 sense organs, and the other 11th one is the mind. Because the mind is the overall umbrella which receives data from all the sense organs. It is the one, it is bigger than the sense organs, it is more subtler than the sense organs, and from the sense organs the data goes to the mind. So Mana Ekamcha, it's also considered as a sense organ. Mana Ekamcha, Panchacha Indriya Gocharaha, the 5 sense organs of perception. All these are the elements, the different elements. So, the great elements are the 5 elements of earth, water, fire, air, and space. Egoism is ahamkara, the sense of I-ness and my-ness that arises in us in our identification with the world of objects, that which is relevant to the I that we say, with relevance to what we see, hear, taste, smell, think, touch, feel, think about, and do, speak, walk, whatever we do, the actions with the 10 sense organs, and the thoughts, feelings, emotions, the vasanas, and whatever is particularly reference to us only. That is called the ego. Buddhi is a determining faculty which rationally thinks and comes to its own conclusions and judges good and bad in every experience of a living man. Unmanifest avyakta, that which rules the functions of a given mind and intellect, determines their activities, called the vasanas. The impressions left over in the mental equipment as a result of our conscious enjoyment of the world outside determine the direction pattern of all our subsequent perceptions and feelings. The source of all individual activities is the residual vasanas in the individual. Naturally, therefore, in its macrocosmic aspect, the total universe of men and things and their behaviors must spring forth from the total vasanas called in Sanskrit as Mula Prakriti by the Sankhyas, or Maya by the Vedantins. So, the 7th verse, Ichcha Dvesha Sukham Dukkham Sanghataschetana Dhritihi Etat Kshetram Samasena Savikaram Udahritam. Ichcha, desire. Dvesha is hatred. Sukha is joy. Dukkha is sorrow. Sanghataha, chetana, dhriti. The sanghataha means the desire, hatred, pleasure, aggregate, body, intelligence, fortitude, dhriti. This kshetra has then been briefly described with all its modifications. The 2 verses, the verses 6 and 7, describe the field. So this is nothing but cognitive behavioral therapy We are not going to say that it is taken from the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita has already told 5,000 years ago what is being spoken of as cognitive behavioral therapy today. The difference between the field and the knower of the field. I am not the anger. I am not the jealousy. Jealousy is not my nature. Anger is not my nature. I am experiencing. I am watching. I am witnessing, and there is jealousy. So jealousy is a field, and the witness is I. And the witness is I for everything. I am the witness of love. I am the witness of gratitude. I am the witness of the quality of peace. I am the witness of harmony. I am the witness of pride. I am the witness of anger. I am the witness of hatred. I am the witness of apathy. I am the witness of shame. I am the witness of guilt. All qualities. I and other qualities are there. The following section, constituted of 5 consecutive verses, together lists 20 qualities which in their totality indicate the knower. So what are the 20 qualities that indicate the knower? We will, very beautiful. One moment, please. Have I missed something? No. The 20 qualities that indicate the knower, and then they go to the knower finally. Amanitvam madambhitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham sthairyamatma vinigraha. So these are the qualities. It is just that in the previous 2 verses, talking about the Kshetra, all the lower experiences are given. Here, the qualities are all of a superior nature of experience. Very, very cultivated these qualities are. What are they? Amanitvam. No pride. No attitude of, you know who I am, or I am so great. My language is so great. My country is so great. My people are so great. My family is so great. That is called manitvam. Amanitvam means I don't have any measurement or assessment about myself. I'm just a simple person. Amanitvam. Adambhitvam. Dambha is dharma dvaja prakatanam, says Adi Shankaracharya. Hoisting my flag of glory that I did this work. That is what everybody is doing these days. In temple also, they will donate a tube light, and with a black paint or a green paint, they will paint across the tube light, that when you switch on the light in the temple, you will know who donated it by, it will reduce that much of light that is coming out from the tube light. That much the paint will be there. So that is called dambha. Dambha means dharma dvaja, raising the flag of I am so good, I am so great. Adambhitvam is modesty, virtue of not proclaiming one's own greatness. Ahimsa, non-injury to other beings, any living being, because of our vicious thoughts and feelings and actions. Kshanti is forgiveness. This is not Shanti, this is Kshanti. Kshanti is forgiving, Kshama, like the earth, being like the earth. Kshamaya prithvi kshamaha, like the earth, patient and forgiving. Arjavam is straightforwardness. Rujutvat, Arjunaha. Arjuna's name is from the word Arjava, a very straightforward person. Straightforwardness, Arjavam. Acharya Upasanam, serving the Acharya, serving the Guru, meaning giving respect to the person from whom you seek knowledge. Acharya Upasanam. Upasana means sitting close to the teacher, not pouncing upon the teacher, not arguing with the teacher incessantly with no value for the argument in terms of knowledge to receive. Arguing for the sake of arguing, discussing and engaging in political debates with the teacher is not Acharya Upasanam. Acharya Upasanam is to approach the teacher with all humility and sit close to the teacher, serve the teacher when required, and rest of the time do our sadhana and japa in the presence of the teacher. Shaucham is cleanliness of mind and body and the surroundings. Acharya Upasanam Shaucham. Earlier also Gurudev said in chapter 12, there is no place for uncleanliness in spirituality, outside or within. So it is a non-negotiable factor. In many places this word Shaucham is coming. Acharya Upasanam, Shaucham, cleanliness. Sthiryam. Sthiryam is steadiness, firmness. In Annadure used to say, in Tamil Nadu, this verse is line is very famous. Yadayum tangum idayam vendum. We need the heart to bear whatever is coming to us, sthiryam. And then Atma Vinigraha. Atma Vinigraha means self-control. By myself, I'm able to control the sense organs, control the mind, the intellect, the decisions, the choices I make. Everything is brought within control, means it's coming under the lens of awareness, self-restraint. Ninth one, Indriyartheshu Vairagyam Anahankara Evacha Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Dosha Nudarshanam. Indriyartheshu Vairagyam. Viraga Bhava is being free of attachment to what? Indriya Artha. The eyes are seeing form. I am not attached to that form. I withdraw. The ears are hearing sound. I am not attached to that sound. I am withdrawing from that. The nose is experiencing smells. I am not attached and going behind those smells. I withdraw from that. The tongue is attached to taste and I am not attached to that taste. I withdraw from that. And the skin is attached to feeling and touch and I am not attached to that. I withdraw from that. Indriya Artheshu Vairagyam. Anahamkaram evacha. Not always thinking in terms of I, mine. Giving importance to that I and mine. Just dropping all import. Anahankara is not giving importance to I. We can see the devotees in presence of their Bhagavan or the Shishyas in presence of their Guru. The Shishyas will only glorify the Guru. They will not talk greatly about themselves. They will not show themselves so proudly in the presence of the Guru. That is called Anahankara. And then we should look into the fallacies and frailties and the holes and the gaps in some things. What are they? Janma. This birth. Only if we look at the negativity of something, we will not get attracted towards it. As long as we don't see what is negative, even a person also, we are attracted to the person because we see only the good side of their personality. They don't get to show their bad qualities easily, and we also don't make an effort to see the bad qualities because we somehow are attracted to that person. We see the good qualities. But on one day, in some conversation, either on WhatsApp or mail or on a phone conversation or in person also, some quality we don't like will show up and then we'll be taken by shock. So in the same way, that quality which shows up at the point of death is our own death. So we should not be taken by shock at the time of death. So even while we are living, we should look into the holes in Janma. What is this birth? What are the problems in this birth? Mrityu, what is death? What are all the problems associated with death? Jara, old age. What are all the problems associated with old age? Vyadhi, what are all the problems and pain and suffering associated with diseases? Dukkha, what are all the sorrows that I experience and how difficult it is. When you have some sorrow in the mind, the whole body shakes. Actually, the mind is having sorrow. After a point of time, the mind cannot bear the sorrow. It just drops the bag on the body. That is the next best thing it can do. It hands over lock, stock and barrel to the body, and the body cannot withstand the pain that the mind has been holding so long. The mind has not released that pain, and once it releases, the body starts aching. You can experience some kind of a ache throughout the body where you cannot really pinpoint of any problem. There'll be some kind of a pain, some kind of a discomfort in the body. It is all getting transferred from the mind to the body. Dukkha, dosha, anudarshanam. Constantly we have to be looking into these faults in all these things. What are the things? Janma, birth, mrityu, death, Jara, old age, Vyadhi, disease, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, then Dukkha, sorrows. What are all the problems that we experience when we go through sorrow? Dosha Anudarshanam. In birth, death, old age, and sickness, every physical body in the world goes through these modifications, and each one of them is an inlet for fresh sources of sorrow. Birth, growth, decay, disease, and death are all tragic destinies of all living equipment. In all these stages of our metamorphosis, to constantly recognize pain is to feel impatience with it. This sense of revolt against pain is the fuel that drives the seekers faster and faster to reach the peaks of perfection. So we can be motivated to attain something positively, we can be motivated to attain something negatively. The positive motivation to attain the truth is to just be free. The negative motivation is we have got so much of sorrow, we have got so much of pain. So to be free from all this pain and sorrow, we need that liberation, we need that knowledge which liberates us. The 10th verse, असक्तिरनभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु. Asaktihi. These are all the qualities that the knower of the Kshetragnya will have. Asaktihi is non-attachment to anything. Anabhishwangaha, non-identification of the self with putra, sons, dara, wife, griha adishu, meaning the relationships that we have, the material prosperity and the material comforts that surround us. Not identifying with them means not giving too much of importance to them, but taking that importance and placing it upon self-realization. Putra dara grihadishu, nityam cha samachittatvam. And what is another quality that they have? Samachitta, nityam. Eternally, they are in a very balanced state of mind. Like Rama, when he was told that you're going to become the king of Ayodhya, he might have smiled gently and accepted it. The next day, he was called amid all the drama in the royal courthouse and the royal family, and he was told that you have to go for 14 years to the forest. That same gentle smile was there and acceptance was there. That is called Nityam cha Samachit Tattvam. Ishta Anishta Upapattishu. Where Ishta, it is nice to get the crowning glory of the king of Ayodhya, Ishta. Anishta, it is really not so nice because why do we know it's Anishta? Everybody cried. Kausalya cried and other people cried. The whole of Ayodhya cried. They didn't want this to happen. So it is Anishta. Anishta, whether I get something that I don't like or whether I get something that I like. Upapattishu, I have samachit tattvam. I have a balanced state of mind. Non-attachment. The mind is a velcro to negative and a Teflon to positive. Non-attachment, the mind sticking on to the various objects of the world with extreme liking for them is called attachment. It is the mental contacts with the world outside that brings agitations to the mind. It dances a number to the tune of death, to which the finite objects of the world most often dance. Fire in itself cannot burn, but a child gets its fingers burnt not because of the fire, but because of its fingers, propelled by a force called desire, come into contact with the fire. Absence of excessive love for child, wife, home, and the like. Excessive love or affection, anabhishwangaha, means excessive love, not to have no love, but excessive love, too much of love. Of our affection, the lover loses his personal identity in his identification with the beloved to such an extent that he is very happy or sorrowful when she lives in joy or suffers from pain. So when she is joyful, he becomes happy. When she is sorrowful, he becomes sad. When she is agitated, he also gets into the mode of agitation. So that is what attachment can do to us. Such an intimate relationship is generally met within the attachment of a mother and to its child. To build a wall of discrimination around our inner personality and to keep such disturbances away is to discover the equipoise in ourselves without which no progress or growth is ever possible. The right channeling of this newly discovered energy is indicated below. So what do you do if you withdraw from all this and you restore your energy? What can you do with it? Mai chananya yogena bhaktiravyabhicharini vivikta desha sevitvam aratirjana samsadi. Mai cha, in me, this has been repeated in Mai sarvani karmani mat karma krit mat paramaha ananya ananya chintayantomam yejana paryupasate mad bhakteshva abhidasyati. Think about me, do my work. In last yesterday's chapter also we saw Mai chanan, sorry, Mai cha, no. Maya Veshyamano ye mam nitya yukta upasate. And all the steps to devotion also he talks about. Think about me all the time. Mat karma, sorry, not that verse. I was thinking about it for so long yesterday. It's a very beautiful verse. Maya Veshyamano ye, no. Mayyeva mana adhatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya nivasishyasi mayyeva ata urdhvam na samshayah. The first instruction, bring your mind to me. So here also, Maicha Ananya Yogena, Ananyas Chintayan Tomam. We saw the meaning of Ananya, nothing else, only that. Ananya Yoga is one pointed devotion to me. Me means that consciousness. Bhakti is that devotion, love. Avyabhicharini, not swerving here and there, not one moment here, one moment one object, one moment a chocolate, one moment an ice cream, and then a little bit of God, and then next something else, my beloved in this world. Not like that. Avyabhicharini bhakti, only that Ishvara. And what to do? Do you participate in politics or go here and there or shout or do give reels or do whatever? Vivikta desha se vitvam. You be in a separate place. You be in a place of solitude. Aratihi, jana samsadi. Not wanting to involve much with the crowds of the world. The crowd is a place where people of different, like a Tower of Babel, where people speak different languages of the heart. And there will be a lot of confusion. If we are unnecessarily, without any purpose, if we are going to mingle in a crowd, we will lose our balance of thinking. So, aratihi jana samsadi, not having any attachment to be in the midst of people all the time. But vivikta, visheshena, separate place, vivikta desha se vitvam. By the yoga of non-separation, Maicha Ananya Yogena, Bhakti, devotion, an integrated life of a stable mind and steady contemplation upon a firm ideal is impossible unless a practitioner works in a conducive environment. To construct a belief itself, Thibaut Muris is a very interesting author. He has written some books on managing your emotions, managing your beliefs. So he gives a formula for the component of belief. He says, empowering environment, intense desire, repetitive action, and a familiarity with a comfort with discomfort. Like allowing yourself to be in discomfort. These four factors, you can develop strong beliefs. So Gurudev here says, an integrated life of stable mind and steady contemplation is impossible unless a practitioner works in a conducive environment. So this is the conducive environment is resort to a solitary place where you're not being disturbed by the crowd, and to develop distaste for crowded society. Resort to a solitude place means you're always there. And develop distaste means don't, just because you're here, the tendency to go out will be always there. Either when you be in a solid place of solitude, the world does not come and disturb you. So you're in a place of solitude. And you withdraw your desire to go to a place of company is you don't go and disturb yourself. You don't go and cause disturbance to yourself by joining in a company. So people will say something, what happened to you? These days your hair has become so gray. You become so fat? Are you not walking, or are you not doing any exercise or yoga? They will ask you one question, and your mood and all the tapasya that you did and cultivated, that energy will get shattered in a few moments when you join the crowd. The more integrated the personality grows, and the more maddening becomes its enthusiasm for the quest of that which is dear to its heart, the more it automatically lives alone in itself, away from the noisy crowd. This is true of every thinker, be he a poet, be he a scientific research scholar, or be he a man with an acute problem. Whenever the mind is fascinated by an enchanting ideal, it loses all its contact with other preoccupations and becomes wedded faithfully to its own all absorbing theme of interest. So these are then the 12th verse. Adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnana artha darshanam etad jnanamiti proktam ajnanam yadatonyatha. So all these are jnanam. Jnanam is knowledge. Knowledge that points out to the divine. These are all the thoughts that take us close to the divine. Adhyatma jnana nityatvam. Adhyatma jnana is, who am I? The thought that I am, that consciousness. Nityatvam is being eternally abiding and contemplating on that knowledge of the self. Tattva jnana artha darshanam. And knowing all the elements of the world, the earth, water, fire, air, and space, the 5 sense organs, and the 10 sense organs, the mind, the intellect, the chitta, the ahankara, the vasanas, and the jiva. All these are tattvas. Knowing all that. Etad jnanam. All this is called jnanam. Jnanam is knowledge. All this is called thought. Proktam ajnanam yadataha anyatha. And what is this jnana is different from ajnana. It is opposed to ignorance. All this is knowledge. So Gurudev says, a very interesting quote he gives here. A train in full steam waiting for the signal at a platform is generally described as Madras is ready to leave now. Of course, in our modern day announcements, they are saying Tirunelveli Sellum Rail. They are saying the train that goes to Tirunelveli. They don't say Tirunelveli is leaving. But once upon a time, these announcements were also being made. Madras is ready to leave now. Gurudev says, in the language of the railway station, it is usual to say Delhi is expected, Calcutta is late, Bombay has left. In each of these cases, only the train leaving for or coming from these various cities, it is meant. Similarly here, the very qualities are called knowledge, jnana, because once these qualities have been fully developed, the mind so cultivated becomes a ready vehicle to go forward it's easier to reach the goal, the destination, the pure self. It is like the medical doctors, even the first year when they wear their coat and they go to college, they're all called doctors, because ultimately when they complete, even though they have not completed their MBBS, they are called doctors. In the same way, even though this is not the final knowledge, this takes you to final knowledge, but just like Delhi is started, Calcutta is late, or Madurai is still coming, Madurai is yet to arrive, meaning not the Madurai city is coming, or Calcutta city is delayed and hanging somewhere. It is a train that leaves from Calcutta, the train that goes to Delhi, the train that's coming from Madurai. So that is what is being meant. In the same way, these different types of knowledge that are spoken about is the knowledge that takes us to the self. From the 13th verse, we will continue tomorrow. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Om Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya, Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। हर नमः पार्वती वतये। हर हर महादेवा। हरि ओम।